My name is Nona Vanterpool-Bonelli, and I'm the CEO of Vanterpool Enterprises Limited, um, with subsidiaries Vanterpool Pharmacy, which most people know, and Vanterpool Properties. My experience with Hurricane Irma, um, I had experienced hurricanes before, Hurricanes Hugo and Marilyn, so I prepared as though I was preparing for those types of hurricanes. But Hurricane Irma was a whole completely different animal. Um, I was totally not prepared for that because where I was experiencing the hurricane, there were tornadoes, earthquakes, um, heavy winds like I've never experienced before. And I really thought it was the end at that point. But fortunately, we survived. I remember remember after the hurricane, I couldn't go to the store for like 3 days because there was so much debris in the road, no one could pass. So the neighborhood got together and we tried to bring our tools and clear the road as much as we could. And then 3 days later, I was able to actually walk to the store, which was probably about an hour walk. And I'd already heard that the store had been looted, but I hadn't seen it. And when I got there, the site was just unbelievable. The stories that I had been told was that after the hurricane, the store was pretty much intact. Maybe it had gotten some water through the little openings, but it was not destroyed. But when I got there, all the doors were out. The store was rummaged through. It was unbelievable, just totally unbelievable. We had to go into, I guess, emergency mode. One of the things that first came to my mind was, well, we have medications for individuals that have had transplants. So we have to find the anti-rejection medications. So my pharmacist and I, that was the first thing we tried to do, because without that medication, these people are going to die. So we had to look for that medication. And after rummaging through everything, fortunately, we were able to find these people's medications, because with the state the country was in, there's no way we would have been able to bring in that medication in time for these people. So that would have been, an additional casualty. So that was the first thing that my pharmacist and I decided that we needed to do. And it was not an easy task because the store was a total mess. But I'd have to say, thank God we found the medication. And just like we were reaching out to the people who we knew needed the medication, they were reaching out to us because they knew too that they could not survive without it. So, but after that, we tried to secure the building as much as we could. And we did everything in phases. In the first phase, because the store was totally destroyed, we basically partitioned a section, and we created a very small pharmacy, and we had only the items, the most critical items is what we carried. And I think that was a time in the store's history where it probably was the most profitable, because every square inch of that store was profitable. It had to be profitable. It was smaller, and so we had to fit the things that people really needed in it. Okay, not the feel-good things, but the things that are actually needed, in a community. So that's what we did. And then we made the partition a little bigger, the area a little bigger, and then we opened it up, wider. So, like I said, we did it in phases as we could do it. And things were very difficult to get done. It was difficult to get electricity. It was difficult to get water. Everything was just very difficult. So you had to exercise a lot of patience, and you had to take it one step at a time, one day at a time, or else you would overwhelm yourself. So that's basically what we did. We got materials, we boarded up, we cleaned up as much as we could. And then I sat back and I looked at the situation. I said, I've always wanted to add a floor to this building. So you know what? This is the opportune time for me to do that. So I called my architect and I said, listen, this is what I'd like to do. And he started the process. And it took a while. But he drew up the plans. Actually, he had to fly in. I took pictures and I sent them to him, but he actually needed to fly in from Germany, take a look, because he had already done some designs for the store, the pharmacy and everything. So he flew in, he put some sketches together for the building, a new pharmacy, and we just began the process. So it's been like a 5-year process, and in the process we celebrated our 50th anniversary in 2022, May of 2022 to be exact. And I think we have a much better store. We have a bigger store. We have a larger, product selection. I've tried to incorporate more natural products, like, natural wellness products, so that you don't have to end up on the scientific drugs. So if we could prevent it, that's the focus. But of course, the people that are already on medication, there's nothing you can do unless, they change their diets, and not everybody is, in a situation where it can be changed. Especially my pharmacist, Mr. Benu Binziger, he was a godsend. And my entire staff, we worked through it. There were times when we would come in, we didn't have a roof upstairs, so water would come in downstairs. All hands on deck, scooping up water, mopping up water. That's all what we had to do to be able to serve the community. Okay, this is what we did on a daily basis if it rained. And you're laying down in your bed and it starts to rain and it feels so good. And stop. You want the rain to stop because you know what's going to happen. You have work to do. But all in all, I think it was a learning experience for everybody. It has shown how resilient of people we are. Because look at 5 years now, look at the BVI. From 5 years ago to today, there was total devastation. All roads were blocked. Most of the roofs were off. There was debris in the road. It was impassable. And look at it today. Okay, most of the structures are back. They have roofs. They improved. A lot of the buildings are improved. They didn't go back the way they were. They were strengthened, and they're a lot more attractive. So I think kudos to the BVI. The people of the BVI.